Indigenous aren't heroes who all would have got destroyed in the war. It's the Aussies, we know what Aussies he's talking about, who fought and died for this country. FYI, Kaka for brains, the information you're about to hear is from your Australian government archives. Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have served in every conflict and commitment involving Australian defence contingents since Federation, including both World Wars. When the war broke out in 1914, many Indigenous Australians who tried to enlist were rejected on the grounds of their race. In 1917, when recruits were harder to find, a new military order stated that half-castes may be enlisted. But not until medical officers were satisfied that one parent was of European origin. That was as far as Australia would officially go. However, we know now that many First Nations people who didn't fit that criteria still went to war anyway. So during that period in Australia, despite the fact that Indigenous people were not considered Australian citizens, they couldn't vote and they faced heavy prejudice at home, and despite the fact that they were discriminated even when they tried to enlist, more than 1,000 Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people served in the First World War and more than 4,000 in the Second World War. You think that's bad? Upon returning home from the war, Indigenous servicemen and women did not receive the same recognition as other veterans. Some were not offered the same compensation as non-Indigenous veterans, such as soldier settlement blocks or spousal pensions. Many would have to wait at least 40 years before receiving the benefits owed to them, including wages. In the years following the war, Indigenous veterans were discriminated against by inconsistent state laws that tried to control their right to move freely, own property, and even have a drink with their mates at the pub on Anzac Day. To add insult, the land that was being offered to return service personnel in the schemes was stolen Aboriginal land. That is a fact. How dare you sit there and disrespect the Indigenous men and women who were good enough to fight alongside white Australians during both world wars, but weren't good enough to be treated as equals when they got home. White Australia has a black history. I suggest you learn it.